So I noticed that oftentimes when you stream, you're wearing a duck shirt. What's with all the ducks?
So this is the original duck shirt. I mean, I got it, I think, for $2 at a Goodwill store. And I was like, oh, I wonder if it's lucky. And my stream told me to wear it the next day. GameStop ripped. So similar to the virality of these stocks, this duck thing is just absolutely out of hand. And I think it's comical.
You're 27 and you hold all of this stock. And you're gonna, what's your game plan here?
As long as I see this community supporting the stock and the charts where I like it and a high amount of people betting against it, well, I'm still gonna bet on the potential of the short squeeze.
Well, I mean, just from the little bit, my initial instinct is that it was like kind of a fair portrayal. I'm not saying anything that I'm like, oh man, this is awful. Matt's a heavy lad. Are you saying I'm fat? The first comment I read about this, and you're like, he's a heavy lad. Couch getting more screen time than chair. Pissed off. Epitome of mediocrity. The only thing Matt pumps is them weights. I don't get fluffy, not fat. What is going on? Thicc Kohrs. I don't know what's going on with this. Heavy lad 24/7. Thick duck. I don't know if this is thick as in like, hey, you guys saw I went to the gym, or thick as in like, no, seriously, Matt, we think you might have a pizza problem. I don't know which way this is splitting. Fat Matt. Matt's buff 24/7. I have a pizza problem. Kohrs heavy. Wait, but you guys see me on camera every day. You're acting as if this is like the first time you've seen me. Matt's thicker than a Snicker. I'll have to find you. This is my thickest picture. Hang on. All right, here's a couple. I just started lifting, and I also apparently didn't know how to get good haircuts. And as you can see, I had no ability to grow facial hair. So that kind of started throughout the semester, and I learned like what was going on. And then I spent a summer in Seattle, and like literally all I did was lift. I just like went to the gym. I went to the gym, and I went more to the gym. And this was the biggest I ever was. I was about, like right now, if you see me, I'm like 170-ish, 170, 175. This was Matt at like 190, 195. And that had to be 2015. And now I've withered away into nothing. Testosterone level 3,000. Nice Photoshop. I freaking wish. He went from big Kohrs to Matt Kohrs light. Leg day neglected. Actually, legs were always my best because I played soccer. So like, I think you're always biased to whatever you come in with being your strongest. So I always look forward to deadlifting and squatting because for my soccer career, that's what I was best at doing. And it was actually like my upper body that's the weakest. Like I proportionate to everything else, I have a very weak chest. And my completely real girlfriend still makes fun of me for that. Fat strats. Kohrs thick busting. Getting sick. You were juicing for sure. No. Dude, I barely learned what like dieting and protein was. I mean, I was a 21-year-old male. Like the amount of testosterone just like naturally pumping through my veins was like concerning. I just think I like started lifting at the highest testosterone point of my life. But now that I'm 27, I'm like on the back end. It's just you're genetically or biologically, your cells are growing and you're developing and everything's up and up and up, especially your early 20s. And then you hit 25 and you're like, oh, I'm just getting farther and farther away from my peak. I'm waving to it as I see it. I'm like, oh, that was fun. It does bother me that allegedly one of my best biological years ever of just like supposed to feel good about yourself and have energy and all that stuff, I spent it locked in an apartment because of the pandemic. Like just allegedly the year one of the years you're supposed to feel the best. I was just locked up. Speaking of locked up, is Melissa Lee still in your basement? Man, you never know where a stream's gonna go. I like the trajectory of today's stream. Okay, this is a true story. This is completely a true story, and I wish I filmed it. So, in August when CNBC came here, I was streaming in the morning, and they came and they were setting up. So like it was a level above me, and they were setting up, and I heard that they were here, and like the setup crew came first. They were all very nice, and like Melissa Lee and her particular team showed up, and this wasn't too far after like the whole naked shorts like thing, and so I walk upstairs and she's there, and I say hi to everyone, and then I look at Melissa Lee and I'm like, naked shorts? And she's like, yeah. She was just like sitting on the couch because it was just, I don't know, it was like big at that point in time. I was just naked shorts. She's like, yeah. Coors Light equals false advertisement. Matt is just a big boned guy. I'm not fat. I just like skinny jeans. All right. I can't lift my legs that much because then I no longer fit into my skinny jeans. It's just my gym methodology. It's buys and chest. There's no other reason to lift anything else. If you're not lifting buys and chest, what are you doing? There's no point in being in the gym. I can't mess up my fashion aesthetic. And for all of my skinny jeans, it's just my legs are what my legs are. I'm not going to touch them. That just has a lot of skin. The other day, this happened 2 days ago. This is no bullshit, Matt. You guys know me. I've been crushing the stair stepper. I am taking every single step necessary I'll walk to the moon on this stair stepper if I have to. And I didn't want to come off as braggadocious, but I did capture the #1 spot on this stair stepper. But anyway, 2 days ago, I was feeling good. I was just like, Matt, you are crushing life right now. You just got the #1 stop on the stair stepper. Let's get some of them muscles back. Like, let's start lifting again. I was like, all right. So I do. I crush it out. Like, I do the stair stepper. I'm stretching, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 10. Get both sides. I'm feeling loose. I'm feeling limber. And it's been about 2 years since I went to the gym. And I was like, yo, Matt, let's work on them. Let's work on them pecs. Let's get you benching again. I was like, all right, let's do it. And I didn't want to like embarrass myself. There's people watching, there's guys watching, there's girls watching, and this might be unknown to the female community, but to the male community, if you're hitting the bench, you don't want to start below 135. Like, you want to start with a plate on each side, especially as a 27-year-old guy. Like, 135 should be where you're starting at. And I used to be able to bench 135 like it was my job. Like, that was just 135, and I got along very, very well. That's a plate on each side. So I'm there. I'm getting ready. I'm psyching myself up. I'm looking at the bench. The bench is looking at me. I'm looking back at the bench. The bench is looking at me. And I was like, this is going to go well. And I knew I wasn't going to hit 225. I knew I wasn't going to hit 185. But I was like, let's get back into it. Slow and steady wins the race. I was going to be the tortoise, and I was going to start off with 135. And I lay there. I get 135 off the rack. And I was like, oh, wow, this feels heavy. I was like, who turned up gravity in the past 2 years? So I was able to rep it like 3 or 4 times. And I was like, this sucks. And like, I don't mean like I comfortably repped it. I mean, I was the guy who was acting like he was benching 315. The issue there is that it wasn't. It was very much barely getting through on 135. So like, I rack it. And I'm like, this is stupid. Like, I was actually frustrated. So then I'm just like the embarrassed duckling who has to like waddle over and take off the 45-pound plates and put on the 25-pound plates. And like, shout out to the big man upstairs. I was at least able to bench that. And then I came to this realization that like, I'm benching less than 100 pounds. It was a low. It was a low. It was a big mental low in my life. And hey, it's where I'm at. It's so freaking bad.